Alright everybody, even though it is Christmas Day, I have got to get this boat fixed. Now I pulled the bottom gears out, which I didn't video that because it was very simple. I just took the retaining nuts off and it slid right out. And I'll show you how it goes back in when I get to that point. So there's the inside. It still had some oil in it, some gear oil, 90 weight, but it had water in it too. So I let it down, drained all that out. Everything in there looks okay. So let's walk in the shop and I'll show you what I pulled out. Just for safety. It's going to be a couple days before I can get parts for this, but put that in there so no junk will get in there. Excuse the mess laying around here. I'll get to the mess eventually. But here is the bottom end gears right here. Alright, what I think is happening is this O-ring here goes in here. And I took it out. It's fairly stiff. It was very loose in there, like it has shrank over the years. Very good chance this is the original O-ring to the motor, which is a 1987. So I'm going to order up a new O-ring that keeps everything from going in there. And these surfaces right here, this little piece here, this little indentation, that follows a little slot in the casing there. Now notice there's deposit right there that looks like salt from the few times I've had it in salt water, and I scraped a bunch of it off, and a very good chance water is coming in there or here. And there's two seals right here on the shaft right there that don't appear to be leaking, but I have it out, and like I keep saying, I don't want to have any problems with this thing. So I already have it out. So there's a kit you can order. It's got this big O-ring and these two seals right here. They're just normal seals. They're pressed in, but they're not pressed hard. You can tap them out with a screwdriver from what I've seen in the book and on YouTube. Now YouTube videos for this particular motor are very hard to find. There's not many, and the ones they don't show a lot of detail on how to take it apart and put it together. So when I go to put it back together, I'm going to try to do as detailed a video as I can. And this little piece here was laying, it came out when I pulled the shaft, and I was horrified. So, oh Lord, where did that go? But it goes right there. No big deal. It's like a center, like a live center. Now I've got to soak this down in some degreaser. Make sure everything's very clean when I get it all apart. And the same with the housing, which I'll probably use something like brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner, something like that, to clean that out good. And I am going to add around this part here, when I put it back together, there's a tiny bit of marine grade silicone, maybe even a little bit here, I don't know, but just for insurance. So there we go. That's what I've been doing Christmas morning. And this will be part one of the foot rebuild on the old Mercury. Now, if anybody's ever done this and got some tips for me, let me hear them. I've said 100 times before, I think, I do not have an ego. If you see me doing something wrong, tell me. Suggestions are welcome. I listen to anything. Alright, short video for today. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support. And I will see y'all whenever parts come in for this, or we'll do some knife work next week. Alrighty, let's get back on this thing. I think I have figured out something. Now this carrier here, when it goes in, this is the bottom side. There's a little key right here that holds it in place to keep it from spinning. And the leak was at the very bottom of here, which is right here. See, I don't know if the camera can see it, but I distinctly remember, now that I look at it and think about it, when me and Scott took this thing out, it was real tough, and we've had to basically pry it out. The first time, this little piece right here is nipped off of there, where the key goes in, and that's just enough room for oil to drip out and water to come in. So what I'm going to do, and there was no evidence whatsoever of it leaking up here on these seals. Before I spend $50 on a set of seals, and this O-ring here does not actually keep oil from going back anywhere, and it fits. Once I got it cleaned up, it fits pretty good. And I soaked the whole thing in degreaser and Purple Power for a couple hours and cleaned it up. So and the housing in the back, I cleaned that real good with a carburetor cleaner, a little wire brush, acetone. It was really, really, really nasty. And that's the drain plug. I went the drain plug out. So what I'm going to do right quick, I'm going to show you how to put this back together. Very simple. If I do have to pull it back out and replace these at some time, it's not a big deal. This shaft goes just like this. This piece here goes right in here, and that is the detent button, which actually kicks it in gear and out of gear when you shift gears on it. See there? It'll catch right there. Now these gears show absolutely no wear whatsoever. Now to hold this in place, take a little bit of grease. This is marine grade grease. It's like for the wheel bearings. It says wheel bearings and parts and everything else. Just so it don't fall out when I go to stick it back in. Or hopefully it don't fall out. Then we'll leave that right there. Now when I get out there with it, this is silicone. When I did my manifold gasket replacement on the truck, there was 2 tubes of this in there, and so it's good for heat, which it won't get hot anyway, but I think this will be just fine. It's better than regular silicone, I think. So see, let's take this out there and get everything set up so I can do it all in one shot, because I sure can't lose that little key right there. Let's move the camera out there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm going to try to keep the camera to where y'all can see this. Alright, I got a thin coat of silicone on here, mainly down here. It's a little bit thicker there. So this just goes straight back in. Let's see, let me get my alright, hang on. I've got it so clean that it's a little stiff in there. Dry, I should say. Let's see if that helps any. If it don't, I'll have to get my rubber hammer. Okay, let's get the mallet and see. When it came out, it was full of oil. There we go. All right, we got to make sure that key lines up there. Hang on, bear with me. I know this is horrible camera work, but there's not much I can do about it. Okay, see there, that key came out. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's back in there now. All right, just like that. Now, let's wipe that silicone. And this is also going to help lock in the nut that goes on here that tightens it all in. As long as this gasket here doesn't leak, which it wasn't before, we should be okay. And I'll save $50 on seals. Alright, I'm wasting all kind of rags, but oh well. Now the next thing is this little retaining ring right here goes in. Like that. Okay, and this nut here goes in. Put just a little bit of grease on there, not much, just a little bit, help it thread on there. Okay, and it threads on. And they make a tool for this, but it also says use a hammer and punch. So anyway, that tightens down. You get the idea. Because I got to move this camera to get it straight. I sure don't want to cross thread that. Be right back. Alrighty, I know it's hard to see, but let's move the camera down here a little bit. I got this locking ring nut here tight. There's a little locking tab here. It has to pull down into this slot right here, somehow or another. Yeah, let's see, I'm gonna have a screwdriver. I don't know, let's see if this will work. Nope, screwdriver. Just so happen to have one right here. There we go. And then we'll take our little handy dandy punch. And that's supposed to lock it in place. Just like that. Delayed reaction, that hurt. But I'm tough, I can handle it. Now I've got tools falling all over the place. Now, next step, I'm gonna let it sit and dry for at least an hour, maybe a little bit more. And then I'll refill it with oil, and we'll put the motor back down in the down position. We'll put it in down position, then fill it with oil and see if it drips or not. And like I said, this seal here, it was not leaking there, it was leaking down here. So maybe we have fixed that problem. So, see y'all in about an hour, maybe 2 hours. We'll see. Alrighty, and finally back out here on this boat prop repair that I did. Now it's been I did all this over Christmas weekend, and this is already Wednesday of the following week. Now I've been really busy. Had to spend some time in town. Had Mama at the doctor at the ER this morning, but I think they got her fixed up, got some meds, and got her laid down to take a nap, and just got to keep an eye on her. Everything's gonna be all right. It is not the C word thing. It is not that. So that's good. Anyway, I filled this with oil 2 days ago or 3 days ago. Has sit in the down position the whole time. It has not leaked a drop. So good news. I think we got it. One less problem. Now the last thing to do on this is locate a lift motor somewhere, somehow. And like I said before, I found one, very pricey. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But there we go. Also, I cleaned out the gas tank day before yesterday, I think it was. Cleaned it out real good on the inside, let it dry good. Gonna start all over again with new gasoline. So there we go. We'll revisit this whole project. Hopefully next week we can get it out. We'll see. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support. Thanks for following the boat project videos, and I will see y'all next time.